welcome back. Today we have our lovely guest, Dr. Tiffany Graham. We're so excited that she's here. I feel like I'm in the presence of a celebrity when I'm with you.
Oh, thank you.
But you're like everything in the world of somatics, and I would love to hear about your journey and anything you want to say.
All right. Well, on and off the table, I've worked a lot on a table in my life. So my professional training's in chiropractic. I started out with massage therapy actually when I was 20 years old, and I'm 41. So about 21 years of just dedicating my life to the body. I grew up as a high level athlete, and chiropractic and taking care of my body was always a really big thing for how I just moved through the world. High expectations of myself, like achiever. I would say at one point I wanted to write a book called like Overachievers Anonymous.
Yeah.
And personal life right now, I have a blended family. We have 4 kids. Been with my partner for 5 years, and just I am at a place in my life where I've built the life. I woke up one day and this is what I told Jason early on in our relationship. I want to wake up one morning and just know that I'm waking up in the life that I've always dreamed of, and not having to it's not about achieving it or having it as a goal. It just happened one day. And I'm like, oh, this is actually it. And for me, this year has been so much about reclaiming what home really feels like. I actually moved a lot as a kid. So fun fact about me, I grew up, I moved 11 times before I was, I think around 12.
Wow.
And I did live in Minnesota for 14 years. That's kind of where I grew up, but all around like Midwest and some on the East Coast. And so I never really understood what home really felt like. And that's something that has been so life-changing and transformative for me with somatic work, because the body is our original home. And it is I'm deeply grateful for the way that I feel home in my body in so many ways, and we'll continue on that journey because it's never done.
Right.
And that's something that I love to show to people, is how to feel home again in their body.
Nice. I mean, like you said, it's an ongoing journey, but when do you think that moment for you came of like, you feel that in your body, or you wake up and you're like, this is the life that I've been wanting?
I think that they've been definitely, so let me think of something else, one particular story comes through. Because there's definitely been micro moments. Definitely highlight was my 40th birthday. We ended up, and over the last few years, we've really been cultivating this community in Colorado Springs. Jason and we met during COVID. So very, very not, people aren't doing a lot of social stuff, even though, like, I didn't follow all those rules. So, but I'm a little bit of a rebel in that way. And so we had really grounded in our relationship and had such a great foundation. We're like, we want friends. So we started this thing called community dinner. So once a month we invite the people that we've been meeting around the community and just over to our house. We have a potluck. It's very relaxed, you've been, and have just gotten to have so many people through our home. And we love our home. We love our backyard.
It's beautiful.
We've really like cultivated this, like, again, at home feel. And we wanted all these cool people to meet each other too, and develop relationships outside of like, oh, we want you to know this person, and just decided that our home was the place for that. And so that's where we've just been able to really cultivate that. Nice. So those are, in my 40th birthday, we invited a lot of our community in, and people like shared a blessing, and the gift, they had an option of like bringing a gift that they had a special meaning for it. And Jason read me a poem, and it was one of those like highlight moments of, wow, this is so worth it. All of the uncomfortable conversations and all the even ebbs and flows of relationship, the people who have left, because any time that you go through anything where you're growing or you're changing, there are people who are not going to come with you. And even if you love them so much, they're just not going to come with you. And so being able to let go in a healthy way has been definitely something I've had to learn, because Sometimes I just like to burn bridges and walk away, like light the match and run, walk away. I get a little spicy.
I'm like, where's your moon? We were just talking.
My moon's in Leo.
Fire.
Oh, your moon's in Leo too.
No, it's Cancer.
If you listen to our first episode, we talked about like depending on what moon sign, what sign your moon is in, like the element is kind of how you like process your emotions, and mine's also in fire.
Yeah.
And Annie was like, so do you commit arson?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Metaphorically.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
fire
cool.
moon, not surprising. Yeah. It
And
takes
fire
practice
rising,
to like
fire Mercury and fire rising.
Okay.
But then I'm a water sun. I'm a Pisces sun. So there's like so much.
Balance.
Sometimes I feel like I'm both at the same time. Yeah. Yeah.
That can
Gets
feel
kind of
crazy.
steamy and convoluted, and yeah.
Yeah.
So I think probably a lot of our listeners today have either heard of somatics or
We talk about it like
Yeah.
every single episode.
it's widely, used and kind of thrown around, but I think it would be helpful if you don't mind just kind of sharing like if somebody was completely new to it and curious, like what is it exactly, and like I guess who would benefit. Yeah,
That was one of my questions.
Well, somatics, soma just means of the body, right? Somatics means awareness of the body, is the most simplest version that I can explain. And really it's, I believe one of the biggest benefits of somatics is your compass. Your body is the compass that tells you what is worthy of your energy. What is worthy? What's a life that is worthy of surrendering to? What's a person that's worthy of opening your heart to? What is an experience, a job? What is worthy of your energy? And it's really your compass of knowing what is and what is not. I used to always outsource so much of my decision making, what I thought was good or bad or wrong, and it started early on in religion. And then it was coaches or teachers or authority figures. And then even in chiropractic school, it was knowledge or, licensing board or what they said I should do, or what this profession, or a mentor or a coach that I would hire. I hired coaches early on. And so I always outsourced so much of my power and my decision making. And then I woke up one day and looked at it and said, this is not the life I want. So many, and it has happened many times where I burned everything down, right? Burn it all down. Those of you who know me, who may be listening to this, yeah. So if you outsource so much of your authority, you will wake up one day and not recognize who you are, what your life looks like.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the biggest benefits, I believe, of somatics. I am definitely, there's been a really big shift. At first, it was more around like, let's look at trauma. And my path into somatics was through working with a trauma therapist that had a somatic approach that would literally like read your whole body and then help you process things that happen to you and help you figure stuff out. And that was how that opened the door for me in 2018. And then I ended up going into my own, I was like, I would see this in patients where they would get better, but they wouldn't stay better. And I knew that there was an element that I was missing because I was doing functional medicine. I was doing chiropractic. People would like do all the right things, or they would be like perfect patients,
Yeah.
but then they still had the headaches.
Yeah.
Or I knew that there was something missing, because I deeply believe that if given the chance, the body, and if given like removing the interference, that the body will heal. And not just heal as in because there's something broken.
Right.
There's nothing broken. Even trauma, there's nothing broken. It's just unfinished. So I do look at those things very differently. It's more about how do you live. For me, what turns me on is how do you live the life you came here to live, not just how do you excavate all the trauma. So I do take that approach to somatics. And somatics can be applied to anything. You can do somatic yoga, you can do a somatic walk. You could, so there's it's a very general term,
right?
And just know that if you're wanting to go into, if you're listening and you want to go into somatics and you've been thinking about it or talking to people about it, just know that anybody who says that they do somatics, they're always going to be informed by their background.
Yeah.
They're always going to be informed by their background, their experience, their and sometimes projections, but their background, their experience, their certifications. I'm actually more interested in what have you been through in your life? What are your initiations instead of certifications? Because somatics is such an embodied knowledge where you've lived through something. It's not so much in the head, and that's the point. Right. So if you're going to be working in somatics, you better embody it. Like I can read all about it all day long, read all these great books, but until you live it, it's different.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So it's almost kind of like massage in a way, where there are different modalities kind of in that way of like, if you're working with a somatic practitioner, it's kind of flavored based on, like, you have a background in body work and chiropractic, whereas like the somatic practitioner that I worked with was an RN. And so it is interesting how it's not really like a super specific
set in stone, like you follow this ABC point. Like I think that's what's cool about it.
So you can almost kind of have your like niche, approach, or and that's kind of what I saw. So you guys had your workshop, or you had your workshop, and Annie was the body.
Thank you, Annie.
Yeah, thank you.
And that was definitely much different experience than like what my somatic work has been, which was really, there were similarities, but it was just really interesting to just be like, whoa, this was like a different approach that I hadn't really experienced before. So I think that's what's, like you said, that's what's cool about it. So
I would love to hear what you experienced differently.
So my sessions were not hands-on, really. We worked up to that after like 1.5 years, but it was literally like just like a craniosacral hold, and then I think she went down to my sacrum, but it was like, instead of on top, it was more of like a hold underneath. But I think we did that twice, and it was like after 1.5 years. So yeah, that was different. And then I feel like my experience was much more nervous system focused, in the way of just noticing the different, like, are you activated? Are you down regulating? So just kind of tying in what certain, what's the word I want to use? Like stimulus, or, certain sensations or feelings that were coming up in myself, and kind of just tying that to an emotion, and then noticing where the emotion was kind of traveling, or if it was like becoming more diffused or more intense. So just observing and noticing if there was like traveling happening, or if, was it like expanding or shrinking, or yes.
I have a question. Like, as the body of that, like, that is exactly what I was experiencing. But are you saying that your practitioner, did she ask those questions? Like, or what okay.
There was a lot of quantification is what I'm hearing. Like, you were quantifying, like, this feels like this, or qualifying, like, describing is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like noticing, observing, describing, and then kind of talking through what was happening within the nervous system based on those types of things, which was really helpful for me because I've come from a background of CPTSD and all kinds of lovely things. And I had kind of shared that night, like, my go-to is dissociation. And so when you're dissociated, you don't have to think about anything. It's a really nice, lovely
That's a great
place
strategy.
to be.
Yeah.
So because I existed there for so long, I literally, you guys, could not name emotions. I had no concept of like, okay, anger, sadness, like not even, I didn't even know what happiness felt like. And it's really just like, what does it feel like? Because you can observe somebody and be like, oh, they're really angry. But to like have that inner knowledge was just, it wasn't there. But then also to just kind of dig a little deeper into like, okay, so we're feeling this way. What could have brought that on is like a boundary being crossed, and it's not even really getting into the intellectual, like analyzing. It's just like noticing and naming and getting familiar with kind of what. So then it got to the point where like I would notice like a tingle and I'd be like, oop, there it is. Like I just got familiar with
It's like learning a
noticing
new language.
Yeah. And through all of that, it just created this sense of self-trust that I never had. Like it because I abandoned constantly. It was just like nope. And I thought I had my back, but it was not to the extent of really understanding and like knowing. So yeah, it was different in the way I think like it wasn't from a body work perspective. We were like tracking, but it wasn't necessarily through touch. I think that was like the difference, but I can see how that compassionate touch would just be so amazing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Those approaches are like amazing and part of all of this, and that's the beauty of you get brought typically what you're ready for, what you're needing. There's no coincidences. And like that was very similar to how I started in somatics, was more of because it was therapy. It was a therapist. It wasn't touching me. It was across the room. So it was noticing the sensations, not necessarily like naming them a ton, but definitely talking about them, noticing them, becoming and really repairing the relationship with sensation. It's all, it's emotion, it's sensation.
And not judging it either, because you start to get heightened and you're like, oh, fuck, I don't want to feel this way. Like, this sucks. And then just like riding that, like, into like, oh, okay. Like, it's
just an experience.
Yeah. Yeah. You had said you wanted to share.
My dream. So is it okay for me to like say like what I was feeling?
Yeah, it's your story.
Okay.
You can share whatever you want.
Okay, I know. I just want to. I know it was me on the table, but like sacred space. A lot of like left side of my neck, just this left area. My dream that night was about my mom, obviously, and we were at her house, and my mom, I'm sure that you could tell this just from me, is someone who puts everyone before herself. Like, she's getting so much better at it, but like will do anything for anyone to like a exhaustion level.
We love you, Mom.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Obviously. And so my dream was I was in her house, my childhood house, and she's like dying, and she's in her room trying to do something for her boyfriend. And I was like, Mom, just like chill, like you're okay. And she's like, no, I have to do this thing for Steve. And I was like, oh, okay. Probably gonna cry about it. And she like walks into the bathroom, dies, and I'm like, fuck, okay. I like run to grab my phone. My phone, like, I'm trying to call 911, and it's like an automated song. It's like not even, I can't get help at all. I walk back in, and she's alive, and she's like trying to get ready for work, and I'm like, Mom, just stop and chill. And I was like, that's like exactly what my neck was feeling like that dream.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it was that night.
Yeah, it was that night after the workshop. Like, a lot of the stuff that I feel like I hold is not mine at all.
Why is it in dreams, like, when we're like need help, like we can't ever, like, you can't scream, like the sound doesn't come out, or like you can't run as fast as you need to? It's so infuriating.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when we're in our dream state, we're in a parasympathetic state, and so anything that wasn't able, I believe, wasn't able to be processed, it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Gonna come through. Really important. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you feel like what kind of things in your waking life do you feel like you have more of a perspective on, or you're more aware of because of that?
How I probably show up in those same ways, where I'm overextending for other people and not necessarily giving the same level of care for myself, and just the same for her. Yeah.
I often feel like something with death in dreams has to do with something has to die, like something is dying, or something is dead, or a piece or an attachment to something. That's one of, with somatics, it's really our I was talking with actually my stepson this morning about this. He was talking about mindset. And I was like, oh, well, I actually think it's more of an emotion, because your emotions are attached to the belief around the thing. And the emotions are what drive the mindset, the emotional attachment to that belief. So if I believe the emotions are actually underneath even a mindset.
Oh, for sure.
And or a pattern, or what, because I'm always asking the question, like, what's underneath? What's underneath? What's underneath? And like when we want to shift those emotions, of course, our attachment to something has to die.
Yeah.
So it has to be dead, buried, decomposed,
Burned
to the ground, right?
Walk away.
And then something new can be birthed from it. It's really, I mean, it mirrors nature in so many ways. Mushrooms, mycelial network, and really, the way that we heal or really just be expressed and come alive has to do also with very similar to nature.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely a spot in my life where I'm at. Like, there's several things that are shedding, dying, burning. So it feels like a good thing, but I was like, fuck, man, that had to show up like that.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Let's see. My questions. Okay, so do you think there's anyone that this work wouldn't be for?
Yeah, I think my style, for sure. My style is very confronting, and also I've accepted that. That had to die. My expectation that my energy is very confronting, and so the way that I approach somatics is a lot more of like, all right, let's go. A lot more Scorpio Mars is actually.
Hey, me too.
Yeah. So, and like also like Aries rising, Aries Mercury, so like let's get to the point.
Yeah.
With the softness of Pisces. But really, so this work as a general scope, this is our vehicle to experience life. So this work is for everyone. The flavor or style or type of work that you're available for, ready for, want to do would be beneficial. I think really just is up to the person and up to what they really, and that's really a part of the work too, is to decide what's a yes and what's a no. And that's really the basic of everything. And really the basis is I couldn't figure out what my yes was until I figured out what my no, and I had the courage to say no, and it's the shedding, right? So the no is such an important piece to all of this. So you come across something and you say no to it, that's okay. Right. That's important too.
Yeah.
It's really important to say no to things.
But maybe not somatics as a whole, though. Maybe it's just the approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had shared with her before, like after everyone left, I, like 2 weeks before I ended my relationship with my ex, I went to like book online with her, and I did all the forms, all the thing, and submitted it, and then the page like went blank, and I was like, okay, I don't know if that means it went or it, I don't know. It's a new thing I just filled out, and I was like, well, I guess if I hear back, I hear back. If I don't, I don't. And I was like, yeah, I never would have been ready for that. Like at that time, like not even close.
Yeah.
So it is really cool how it finds you when you're ready.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
Yeah, it helped me through some of the like most trying times in my entire life that were like all happening at the same time. And I don't know, it just is such an empowering type of, I don't know, therapy. Can you call it a therapy?
If you want to.
Yeah. I mean, it was therapy for me. So
I feel like it's an innate thing in everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you said the word innate. I was actually I woke up in the middle of the night last night, and sometimes things will like come to me with, so in chiropractic, we talk about universal intelligence, i.e. probably God, right? Educated intelligence, which is the things that we learn, and innate intelligence. So innate intelligence is what runs our body, runs our life, like runs everything, the thing that we cannot see, the force that moves everything within our body. So the innate intelligence. And really, I believe somatics has this beautiful way of, it's the meeting, it's the combination, the melding of the educated intelligence, our awareness, our knowing, our conscious awareness, our language, all of that's educated intelligence with innate. And that's where those two things meet. And we get to experience, I believe somatics is like the doorway into that. Somatic intelligence is really the combination of both of those. Yeah. That's why we're working so much with the subconscious mind too, because there's that.
What do you say has been your most profound moment, either for yourself or with your work within this?
I have two. So in my somatic training, the first time that I ever was on the table receiving, and I had this entire psychedelic experience where, and I've had these experiences with a jaguar before, and the jaguar showed up again, and it was almost like it was not there anymore, not a part of me. And I interpret that as the primal part of myself, the part of me that scares the shit out of people. And I'll yell that during I hold body work circles and teach people how to do body work on themselves, and we all do it together. And that's one of my favorite things to like really channel in is like some of you guys need to express the part of you that scares the shit out of people. And that's the part of me that I had to, so she was like up in the cosmos, and I had to like die to go get her and like bring her back.
Yes, a true heroine journey.
So it's like this cosmic experience. And I feel like that was absolutely a turning point for the way that I walk through the world, the perspective that I have in how I know myself. My journey has been so much like, how do I know myself? How do I trust myself? How do I really know who I am? And all the different ways, every perspective that is. Another one actually is much more recent, actually just a few weeks ago. I in all this, like, I've done a lot of like coaching and mindset, and in all these coaching programs, they're always like, what's your why? Like, you know, Simon Sinek, you have to figure out like, what's your why? Yeah. Okay. And I'm just gonna be honest. I experienced so much of my somatic experiences through pleasure. And so I was in pleasure, working with myself, working with my own body. And I had this thought about how sad, I had this like sadness, like deep sadness show up. How sad it is that I have been part of some of people's most difficult lessons.
Ooh, yeah.
And therefore also the villain in many stories. And even like, even my patients.
Yeah. I'm like, whew.
Yeah.
And that is, I decided in that moment, I just decided to bring in the sadness and that grief, and like the people, even like dear people in my life, close people in my life, old best friends, family, the people that, either, you know, on purpose or not on purpose, I like was a difficult experience for them, a lesson that they've had to learn, or I've been very challenging or confronting. So just accepting that fully. And then on the other side of that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's my why. The best way that I can love myself is to get paid for that.
Hell
Yes. I'm obsessed with
like,
that answer. That's should be on the
You're like, if I have to do this, I'm gonna get paid.
Naturally, better have my money.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes,
I like that song. Good remix.
it's a really good. Yep.
Yeah, it's the most loving thing I can do for myself is to just be honest about that. And also people expect that from me now.
Yeah.
And I'm honoring this past version of myself who tried to hide that part. So, yeah.
Oh man, that was a great answer.
And then I had
love
this
that.
big sob.
Yeah.
It released. And yeah. That's really how you change your reality. People always think that's your mindset. When things change on a body level and you have a new experience with a belief, then it will shift your reality. Your reality will change.
My son has also seen a couple somatic therapists, and we didn't know it at the time, but he was undiagnosed type 1 diabetic, and was having a lot of dysregulation in like his mood, because insulin's a hormone, and they also don't make like 5 other hormones as well. And so anyway, I didn't know that that's what was going on, but I could like see that he just needed some, you know, help. And because I was in somatic therapy, I was like, everyone should do this. Like, if I could start him early, like that would be like the most loving thing I could do. And like, I think even though he didn't say he got a lot from it, he's like one of the most like self-aware, able to like articulate and express like what he's going through, and just incredible. But yeah, he recently moved to live with his dad, and one of the things that they're doing a lot of is working out. And so he's just been consistently kind of pushing himself. He just turned 14, and so, but his dad's like, this is what we're gonna do, and I'm like, go for it, you know. He's getting into sports, blah blah blah. So he shared with me, he was like, Mom, I had the biggest emotional release. He said he was working through, like, it was cardio day, and he was like, I just really like did not want to do it. No, I think he said it happened a couple times. The first time I think was leg day, and he said that he just was like really just trying to change his mindset, right? Like, I'm gonna like do this, I'm gonna push through it. I know I don't feel like doing it, or I don't want to do it, but like it'll be good for me and I'll feel better after, and you know, all of those things. So he said he was like, it was the hardest thing like I've ever done, but he was like aware of the thoughts in his head, but like staying with himself through it. And he said after, he had the biggest emotional release like of his entire life. He was like, I could not stop sobbing like uncontrollably. And one of the reasons for this somatics is because he like couldn't cry. He was like just unable to cry. And so he had this huge emotional release after like a workout. And I was like so proud of him for, you know, just being able to like know what was happening with himself. And but he said it happened again. He had done the elliptical, which, you know, I just find like the bilateral movement and the emotional processing and like just really like working with like, this sucks, and he even said like, I'm the only person that's getting in my own way. And but then to have that emotional release afterward, I just am so curious like what the tie-in is there to the emotional release, and like with the movement, and you know, because movement is so powerful.
Both legs, like lower body.
Yeah,
times.
exactly. And I think kind of one of the things that I told him, I was like, I wonder if like you have just been stuck in your body, and that like movement and kind of pushing through got some things unstuck, you know, and it kind of came to the surface and was able to like express, whereas it wasn't able to before. But really beautiful.
Ugh.
I know.
First of all, thank you for creating, like giving him those ninja tools.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
tools.
and
I like that.
really this next generation, it's also I believe it's really important to have an internal why and an external one. And the external one for me is this next generation, that I can model the gifts that I can give my kids and the kids that I even come in contact with, even my friends' kids, but how could my kids affect their friends, and like the way lineages. Women, because we birth all the people, I believe that we have this special connection to feeling that that's important, that lineages, whether you birth a human or not, doesn't matter, that lineages are important, that the legacy that you leave for the people, the next generation, is important. And so I love that you've been giving him those tools, and that he felt safe enough. The biggest thing that people, I think, oh yeah, I'm going to go do somatics, or I'm going to even healing work. Like, I'm going to go do healing work and it's going to all be great. It's going to be sunshine and roses and all of these things. Right. But the thing that most like dirty, I call it the dirty little secret of the healing world is that once you feel safe enough, then that's when all the stuff comes up.
Yeah.
Once you've created this foundation of safety, this container, this larger container of your nervous system to hold something, then that's when stuff really starts coming through, to be processed, to be looked at, to be faced, to be expressed, right? So like he was, and I also love like that he told you about that too. And like, almost like he was proud of it.
I know, like, hey mom, you would be interested in this. That, I mean, if I can keep that, you know, as the priority between us, like I'm like, I will be happy that he can come to me with whatever and share like the most vulnerable, you know, parts.
Well, imagine being able to navigate hormones coming in online with this somatic intelligence, with this awareness, with this connection to the body. And this is why in cultures and indigenous cultures, they had initiations. 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds had initiations into their body that involved some kind of body practice or a medicinal ceremony or something that involved the body, because they're being initiated by their hormones.
Right.
And how are they going to navigate that? What's their compass? You got to get that compass online.
Yeah.
So I do have a vision of I host rage rituals. I do have a vision of hosting like mother-daughter, mother-son, like,
oh my gosh,
like rage rituals for like parents and kids.
Yeah.
Eventually. My daughter once asked me, she came up to me and asked me if she could do a rage ritual.
Oh, I love that.
And she's like, Mom, she was 8 years old. This is a couple years ago. She's like, Mom, you know how you do those like rage things? Those like anger things? It's like, yeah. She's like,
Can I scream in your face?
Can we do one?
Yeah.
Can we do one? And so I set it all up for her when we had like, I have my therapy room in my house, and we set it all up. And then she was telling her little sister about it. Her little sister was 7 maybe at this point. And like they did their own a couple weeks later.
Wow.
Together.
Wow, that's
Yeah, it was so awesome.
It's so cool to hear this, because like I don't have kids hopefully yet, but like I'm like, your children are like leagues ahead grown men that I've dated. Like like what?
Have you guys heard of it's a somatic thing, push hands?
No.
Okay, so he was in somatic therapy when he was like 10.
Wait, who is this?
My son.
Oh, okay.
And of course boys, I mean, everyone's angry, but like, you know, I think boys internalize a lot more and it comes out as anger. And so that was like at the top of what we were kind of working on. And so it's an activity between parent and child, where you put both of your hands up, both of you do, and put your hands together. And then you just essentially, you don't push back at them. You just provide resistance enough. And so the reason why it worked so well is because he would start out, you know, he would get really activated and she'd be like, all right, like, is it time for some push hands with mom? And he would be like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he would just be so resistant. And so I would like stand up and I'd be like, come on, buddy, like, let's do the push hands, you know, because he'd be like, she asked me to do my chores and I'm so, you know, so he, you know, we would stand up and we would do it. And he would be like, you know, his face, he would just, and so I would provide the resistance, and it always ends up in laughing. It's like the anger gets out, and then like it's kind of like what you said, like what's underneath it is connection, and that I'm not going to leave you, and I'm here for you, and like we can work through this. And you know, I'm also going to be, you know, a boundary. I'm going to have boundaries and you can push against them, but ultimately like you're safe and it's okay. And so we did, he was really upset not too long ago. So like 4 years later, and I was like, do we need to do some push hands? And he's like, no, you know, and I was like, no, come on. And he was like, well, we haven't done that in a while, have we? And I was like, nope. And so he's like 6'1" now. And like,
oh shit.
Yeah. And
like, I take it back.
I know. I was like sliding on the floor.
I'm doing push hands against you now.
Seriously. So, but that might be something kind of cool to,
no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm totally going to use that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was, yeah, it was very cathartic is how it felt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How did you get into somatics? Like, I don't know if we've talked about like how it came into your realm.
I was trying to think about that today, and I was like, I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Well, we have Amy in common, and I think learned about you because of her. And so I think they had an awareness because of just that connection. I don't even know how many years ago that was now, but my talk therapist is a somatic therapist as well, and she'll incorporate that a little bit if need be. Yeah, I think
like a seed got planted.
Yeah,
and you got really curious.
I'm not. They've obviously, like everything, it would like kind of divine timing thing, because I'm like, if I can't pinpoint it, like I don't like clearly.
divine timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then went to your somatics workshop. It was the breakup or breakthrough, and I saw like you post that and I said, oh shit. That was like in February. I was like, oh, I'm really going through a breakup. Yeah, that's what I need right now.
Perfect.
That was so good. That was such a neat experience. Like when you were with me, like I've never felt, I've done like a little, I do it on my own when I need to, but like I've never felt my entire body just like it was electric, like tingly. It felt like that during the last rage ritual too, but like that is such a neat feeling. You just feel so alive.
Yeah.
You're like really online.
Takes a really big nervous system capacity to like bring life in. Life is like bringing life in. So, I said, your body's the compass to what life is worth like a life that's worth surrendering to. Your body is the compass to that. And so just bringing life in is so it's so stretching. It stretches us. Can at least. Yeah.
One thing I love that you talked about on Thursday night was you talked a little bit about your own solo somatic practice and kind of what you like to do. Could you talk a little bit about that, and like if people weren't ready to necessarily seek out someone to work with, can they do stuff at home, and what would that look like?
Yeah. So sound is such an important piece for my body, and I believe many of our bodies, but sound also, whenever we create sound or hum or sing, you're vibrating the vagus nerve. And so you're creating automatic safety in the body. The vibration sound also helps someone to stay grounded. For me, it's also, I do a lot of work with human design, and I'm a manifestor in human design and have a direct channel from my emotions to my throat. And so opening that channel from the emotions to the throat, getting like, even if I don't know what it is, I think that's been one of the most important, like I don't always, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I have an emotion. I have no idea. I don't even care about naming it. I just know that can I accept the sensation? Because emotions are sensations felt in the body, translated by the mind. Okay. So can I accept the sensation, and can I just move with the sensation? I don't have to try to figure it out. I don't have to try to name it. I don't have to try to make it something. I don't have to try to make it mean something about me. And so, this is something that I teach people called the wisdom cycle. And really it's an embodiment cycle. First step is accepting. Second step is responsibility. And third step is boundaries. So first step is always accepting. And so one way that I accept is to like start to make noise. Like, my kids, they hear me making noise throughout the house, and they've nicknamed me Moaning Myrtle. And so they make fun of me sometimes. But it's really great in the car to be able to do that, because you have so much space. You can put on your favorite music and just like audible exhale. And we hold so much gets held here, throat. And with my work with people, of course, chiropractic, I'm working with people's neck, but the front of the throat, thyroid, so much in the jaw, TMJD, so much is held here energetically and emotionally. And then we develop, when those things aren't expressed, they have to go somewhere. They have to be held by the tissues. Okay, so they're held by the tissues there until we express them. And there was one point in my journey, I was crying to a friend. I was like, all this stuff's coming up. I don't even know what it is. And I was crying about not knowing what it was. And he's like, you're just taking the trash out. Do you go through the trash when you take it out?
Ooh, that's so good.
So really, if you just think about it, just move the energy. If some energy is present, or even if some energy is not, if you're trying to just like tune in, tap in, making an audible exhale. This is why breath work is also so powerful as well, because breath, there's mechanoreceptors in our lungs. The way that we breathe matters, and it tells our body if we're safe or not. And so breath matters. So breath, sound, movement, dancing, music. I have separate playlists for different vibes that I'm feeling. I have a me playlist, like my favorite thing, just that I feel like are these songs that really tune me into the energy of me. I have a ode to oxytocin. I have an oxytocin playlist. I have a grounding playlist. So different things. I use music. And so dance is often one of them. Doing mini rage rituals can be one of them too. And then also self body work. So that's definitely one of my biggest passions. Cause okay, I love being a chiropractor, but one of the things that's always rubbed me a little bit. Yes, you have to brush your teeth to keep your teeth healthy. Yes, you have to work out to keep your muscles healthy. And you have to go to your chiropractor to keep your spine healthy. Yeah. Okay. And where is the responsibility? Oftentimes people are coming to me, putting the responsibility of their health onto me. And honestly, I don't want that.
Nope.
I'm not interested in that.
Yep.
I can be a part of your path.
Yep.
I can be a part of your journey. I can bring you back into a deeper relationship. I can help you see what this symptom is showing you, what this symptom is for you, how it is for you. Oftentimes people come to me and their body screaming at them and really wanting their attention. And so I'm really not interested in being people's expensive aspirin.
Yeah.
And so and so I also apply that into my life. And so I started asking the question, like, what can I do for myself? Because doing one-on-one work with somatics very well takes a lot of energetic mastery.
Yeah.
A lot of emotional mastery on my part. It takes a lot of energetic hygiene. It takes it's a lot. It's very intense for the person receiving as well. And so having those daily practices that you can do to tune in. And I'm not even, I don't really meditate. I don't like have the patience for it, honestly. Meditation really is more of what I guess this is my version of meditation.
I was just about to say
right,
that,
of awareness and meditation. Meditation can so easily turn to a strategy of suppression.
Yes, amen.
And we're meant to feel life.
Yeah.
How do we feel and move and dance and experience life and feel alive?
Yeah.
Right? And so, yeah, like meditation's a powerful tool, but if all your life you're trying to like just be peaceful and meditate on I mean, maybe that's why your soul came here, and that's okay too. So those are some of my daily practices I do with that. Of course, I also get adjusted every couple of weeks. I'm taking care of my body, taking care of my nervous system. And really we're learning more about, and that's why I love chiropractic too, is because it helps remove the interference to life being expressed through your nervous system on a physical level. Well, somatics is like that for emotions. Where's the interference? Where's the resistance along the system to the life flow, for things to flow through, and really for your soul to be expressed through your reality? And so I really see somatics as underneath the umbrella of what I see chiropractic as. And most people look at chiropractic as just getting rid of your back pain and so much more. So I'm also here to talk about that too. So it is a lifestyle, and that's been something I've really focused on, recovering from all this performance and having to have I've really rebelled against anything that even feels like performance to me. Almost my pendulum has also swung to the other way of like not working out very much.
Yeah. Okay.
But every time I do work out, get in my body, whether it's twerking or dancing or I go to twerk class, so much fun. So much in your hips. Yeah. At Pole Revolution.
Oh yes.
Yeah. They have amazing twerk class. I've also gone to belly dancing at like Studio Satya, yoga Studio Satya. And even like Polar Revolution has a belly dancing class too. So, walking, but also challenging our body,
right?
It's always going to teach me something too. So I'm approaching those things differently. So I'm really enjoying the way I'm approaching life right now, and just, it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
but it's a trip to unwind. Like worthiness has been such a lesson for me. It's been, and I know that the worthiness, performance, achieving, all of those things is really so much of what I'm meant to also bring to women, bring to the world, because I know what that feels like.
I feel like so many, I'm like, everything you said, I'm like, yeah, I struggle with all of those things. Yep. And you saw it on the table.
Yeah.
And that's also oftentimes people are going to be drawn to us because of and this is something I said to you guys in the workshop, is that your loving presence is enough. I know that in every interaction, why do we do this? Not just because of on the table that I can impact somebody in a positive way. And their life, I know that their life is different, but I know walking on the street, when I give somebody a smile, when I interact with my friends, when I'm having a present, loving conversation with a friend, I know that their life is different because of the energy that I hold. I don't even have to talk about emotions and they come up. Actually, somebody from the class messaged me the next day, and she said the next day on her table in the massage at the end, they had this total emotional release connection.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just
emotional experience, just because of like her perspective change, that it was possible that emotions are connected to the body.
Yeah.
And that it's possible to experience them on the table.
That following day also approached my work a little differently. It wasn't, super different. Usually when I'm checking in with clients, I really loved how it almost felt like a ceremony of intention beforehand. And I feel like I am really like intentional with my clients, and we like connect and before we go into the session, but I'll typically ask, what's your body telling you today? And I just like shifted it. I was like, what's your body showing you today?
I did the same. Yep.
I love that. Yes. Words are so important. We spell words. It's a spell.
It is.
Not how are you feeling? What are you noticing? It's different.
And they were like, and it like kind of was like, oh, this isn't our usual, like, and they got a little introspective and they were like, so I think the answers were like little different.
I was like,
did you?
Because I noticed, I'm like, man, I really do ask people, how are you feeling today? What a loaded question, and that's not at all what I'm meaning to ask you. So what are you noticing today? I loved that. Where do you see, I mean, this is, I kind of don't like asking this question, but like where do you feel?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
No, I know. I was like, that's disgusting. That's not at all what I want to ask.
What's your why? No.
I already told you.
Where do you feel like you're being, if you are like being pulled in one direction or not with your career? Is there anything you're really excited about?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I burned down so much of what I had built over 10 years. I opened a practice here in 2013 and had grown it into this big, like multi nurse practitioners and medical doctors and other chiropractors, and had this large space, and just really just decided one day that it was done. And that I was done with that. So that's a whole other story, but that's one example of burning it all down, and have really gone through this decomposing these last 2 years. Just over 2 years, 2.5 years almost. And where I'm headed now, that's really creating the fertile ground for where I am headed. And also, I just also love my time at home. I love my time with my family, because really my family is so much of my why. That lineage piece is so much of my why. But where I really see myself impacting is I'm creating a system where people can do their own work, that who are ready for that type of process. And I really feel like people are less interested in outsourcing their experiences to therapists, that the therapist doesn't own their experience. The practitioner doesn't own their experience, that they can experience these things to a certain degree. And yes, when you're in groups of people, when you're working with one-on-one person, when you work with me, I'm going to bring a uniqueness that you're not going to get on your own. So like, that's just, I can't give myself a massage, but I can, right? But it's going to be different
too.
Yes. Yeah. Co-regulation. Yeah. Because of what I carry in my body, you're able to access things that you wouldn't be able to necessarily on your own, because of what I carry in my body. And that's the beauty of, we are meant to be healing with each other. So healing in groups is actually where I really see things headed. And even after doing that workshop, really inspired to inspire other body workers, chiropractors included, massage therapists, people who, because we are the people, because we can't touch people. Like there's so much online around coaching, like somatic coaching and somatic breath work and all this like non-touch work, psychotherapists and non-touch work, which is fabulous. There's so much there. It's so rich. There's so much there. It's really time for us who are really already in intimate spaces with people's bodies to bring that into these spaces, bring that to the table. And how do we do it in a safe way with not being therapists? We're not therapists, yet we're humans. As humans, we can have the skill to hold loving presence and space for people to connect with the things that they're ready for. And so how do we start to hold those loving spaces for people? And you have to start with yourself. Being initiated into your own body is the number one pathway to, and I'm not interested in like creating a certification. I don't give a shit about that. Yes. Like it's an initiation into your own body. And then you bring that forward with your own flavor, your own skills, your own scope based on what you have experienced in your own body. And then that just spreads. So I'm creating a system where you can actually like go through the patterns. I've seen these themes and these patterns. So I'm cooking it up, being a wizard, cooking it up. So watch out for that. I'm doing my first online somatics circle because before I love in-person work, but I know that I'm meant to bring some things online too. So I'm doing the first one online this month. And then that's going to become a closed container where we're going to take a group of people through an initiation through like 6, probably 7 months of an initiation. And I really would love to work with more body workers. And I really also see bringing this to chiropractic even more. That's where I see my career going in that way. And of course, always working with people. Just not in like a structured, I'm just here every day 9 to 5. Like I'm not designed for 9 to 5. That's another reason why I decided to walk away from my practice. I'm not designed for 9 to 5.
Well, I mean, you can't plan when, things come up that you need to work through. So like, why be so rigid? Like, okay, this is the time we're going to schedule this out. It doesn't work that way. So where can people find you if they're interested?
Right now, the easiest way to find me is on Instagram. So I have a somatics, soul, SOULMATIX _ somatics page. I also have Dr. Tiff Graham. I've thought about possibly like, that's my personal page because it really is. And then I have my like business page, but really my life, I believe that of being vulnerable about, so if you go to my Dr. Tiff Graham, it's going to be there's going to be personal stuff. It's going to be daily thoughts. It's going to be like who I am. I've always wanted to, for someone who I want my life to be looked at. I think that's important. That's a question I've always had when I look at people who are like, oh, I want the life that they have, but then they put on a show on the outside. So like, I have a video on there about like, how do I cut up steak for my family? So like, it's not all just somatics because somatics allows us to live life. And so it is really just like life as well. And then with somatics sprinkled in, and I make announcements for any events that I'm doing. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for being
so
here.
Great.
That felt really nourishing. So
thank you.
And I don't know, I feel like we could talk forever about it. So if you ever want to come on again sometime, we'd love to have you.
Chit-chat.
I would love that. Thank you guys for what you're doing here. This space is beautiful.
Thank you.
I am so excited to continue, like, to listen to your episodes and actually get to dive into what comes up. And I thank you for having a space like this to have these conversations.
Super important. Just real conversations.
Yep. We're excited. We're asking people to leave us reviews, likes, comments, follows. So
You can tell us if you hate it.
Oh yeah, or if you disagree.
Yeah, we want to know.
Yeah,
You can send us an email if you don't want to. If you want to be anonymous.
yeah.
Well,
If you're not pissing somebody off, you're not being.
she got her first troll the other day.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations!
Thank you. I know. I was like, ooh, like that's really cool. So
What did they say? Can I ask?
So it was a reel that I had go viral about me constantly reminding myself to look up while I'm doing body work. So just checking in with body mechanics. And yeah, it went viral, and I just had this one guy say, yeah, didn't you know that tech neck has been entirely disproven? And I was like, is that so? And he commented back, yeah, you should do your scientific research. Here's a link. And it was like a blog post.
It was someone's recipe. It was a blog.
It wasn't
recipe.
even a real link.
Wow.
So
He just wanted you to get a virus on your phone.
yeah. So of course I went to his profile, 0 followers, 0 following. He's not even so I'm like, I don't even, I think it was like a bot situation. But I was like, cool.
Oh, you're pissing off the bot.
Yeah.
Tech neck.
Yeah.
With your body mechanics, that's like the most neutral thing for someone to get mad about.
I'm like, how about you come give 5 hours of hands-on and see how your neck feels from looking down all day? Like, yeah.
Oh,
But
man, that's good.
yeah.
Well, table this till next time.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.